Hey everyone, welcome back to the weekly astrology and pick a card reading. This is for March 8th through to the 14th, 2021. So this week there's a lot of energy with Pisces and there's a lot of energy with Aquarius. So it's mostly Pisces and Aquarius energy. We have a new moon in Pisces. So that's on the 13th, March 13th. So that's towards the end of this week, and that will be happening at 23 degrees of Pisces. So for those of you that know your chart, look to where you have 23 degrees of Pisces in your chart, what house the new moon falls in for you. New moons are always initiating new beginnings, new energy in your life coming in, new starts. So it is conjunct with Neptune as well. So this is a very spiritual, very creative energy. And there's a lot of idealism with this energy. So, you know, as I always say, with the planets and with their influences, there's always a higher octave and a lower octave of these energies. I think this time it's quite, the potential is more with it to be on the higher octave of Pisces and Neptune energy. If you choose to flow with that, if you're more aware, you can maximize the creative energy, you can maximize the spiritual energy and the psychic energy and get more out of it. Things to be aware of with regards to lower vibration energy with Neptune is feeling like a victim, feeling too passive, that you can't sort of break out of situations in your life that are not good for you, feeling lost and helpless, and being stuck in those emotions. So obviously we're all human and we all experience these emotions from time to time. There's nothing wrong with experiencing that, but the problem happens when we get stuck in those mindsets and it becomes a habit and then it's who we are. So we've got to be careful with Neptune energy that we don't start sinking into a kind of victim mentality. So that's definitely the warning with the Neptune. Or, you know, anything where you feel like you're being overly self-sacrificing. So, you know, to the point where you are giving others too much that you don't have anything left for yourself or for things that really matter in your life. So there's that as well. So Neptune energy can definitely relate to, as I said, feeling like a bit too victimized in your own life where you don't want to take any action. You just kind of feel like you're just want to stay under the covers. You just want to kind of sequester yourself away in a little bubble, you know, away from the world. And as I said, it's normal to feel that from time to time and even under this energy. But the reason I'm saying that is because Neptune energy can really sometimes pull you under. And it's important to be aware of the energies and go, okay, it's the Neptune influence, you know, give yourself that period of grace, you know, around the 13th and also around the end of this week, because this energy is very strong. Towards the end of this week on the weekend, because that's when we'll see the Sun in Pisces, Venus in Pisces, and Neptune have a triple conjunction in the sky. So it's a lot of Neptunian energy. So for me personally, I will use this energy to be very creative if I have time, and you know, to make the space for that, to try to focus more on the spiritual aspect. So it is a really good time for prayer, for meditation, for listening to music, for doing creative things. You know, as I said, if you feel a bit like sorry for yourself, don't be hard on yourself. You know, that is normal at times to feel that, and we all could be feeling that way. You know, it depends how it's going to impact your chart. You know, if you've got a lot of Sagittarius, Gemini energy, it is going to square those energies. So you may be feeling more that kind of way. Like you could also feel like just escaping from reality with a lot of Neptune energy. So that's another way that it can manifest. And yeah, sometimes that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you need to pull your energy back from the harshness of the Saturnian reality, you know, the Saturn energy, which is just all work and discipline and, you know, tasks and taking actions that are essential for your sense of stability, security, and responsibility. Sometimes we need to pull back from that and just go, okay, I need to watch a movie just to escape and just to relax my mind. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just when it gets toxic that it's not good, if you're kind of overindulging in things that are bad for your health, or, you know, things like that. So, and I do think the temptation will be there with all that Neptune energy to, you know, for some people to, whatever it is, to escape too much. But it's just watching that and not letting yourself slip into that too much, because it can go too far. So that's that. Let's see, what else do we have? I think that's the main stuff that I want to mention. You know, we have the Sun, Moon, the new Moon, Neptune and Venus all in Pisces, and Venus, Jupiter and Saturn all in Aquarius. So very transpersonal energies going on at this time. And I think when the planets are more so in those energies, we see that there are more destined events that happen in our lives. Again, you have to factor in your own personal chart. It's just a general update. But, you know, you might be surprised if you are someone who's naturally intuitive, how strong your intuition can actually be this week. It can be really strong. And also with Pisces energy, you know, it's not that you should force situations at this time. It's more go with the flow, let things kind of, let yourself be guided by your intuition. Don't try to force situations at this time. Definitely, I would say, don't try to force, don't try to push things too hard at this time, because it's like trying to control water and that can be difficult. So water needs to flow, right? So obviously water can be directed, but it's something where I feel with this energy, with Pisces season and all this Neptune, it is really good to just go with the flow, trust in the flow, trust in synchronicities, signs and omens at this time. They can be very strong. Messages from your spirit guides, psychic dreams, premonitions, and just gut feeling. So it's definitely a week to trust your intuition. Next week, Mercury will be moving into Pisces. Mercury is currently in Aquarius, which is a good placement for Aquarius, actually helping us with all this Neptune energy to be a little bit more objective and really sort of look at what's going on with a bit of detachment, a bit of objectivity. So that's a helpful energy that we have Mercury in its exalted position in Aquarius. But next week, Mercury will shift into Pisces. So that is going to bring in more of an energy of, again, telepathic communication, spiritual awareness, meditation practice, compassion in our communications. So yeah, another thing I didn't mention, I don't think, is that this week for some people, and more so people with Pisces energy and people with Taurus energy and possibly Capricorns, some Capricorns may experience, if you've got anything around 23 degrees, I'd say between 20 and 25-ish degrees, 25, 26 degrees of the signs that I mentioned. This week there may be some romantic energy going on in your life. There may be a lot of creativity, a lot of synchronistic moments. There could be some magical energy around. Very psychic week this week, so definitely a good week to do anything spiritual, psychic, magical. Okay, so that's all I was going to say for the astrology. New moon in Pisces and all that. So let's look at the cards. So I've got the Astro dice as usual. This deck is the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid, and then I've got the tarot deck this week. This is the Silver Witch Tarot. I haven't used that for some time, so I'm excited to use that deck today. If you'd like to book a personal reading, please go to the link below this video to my online store, and you'll see the different readings there. So there's different turnaround times depending on what you order, okay? And I'm going to get into it. So first element that I'm doing this week is water. I'm doing the water sign. What I'm going to do from now on is just do the first element is going to be based on the season. So we're in Pisces season. I'm doing the water signs, and so this will be for Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So let's see what your messages are for the week ahead for Pisces. There's something sticking out here. Ooh, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio guys have the World card. Okay, so that is Saturn energy, which is interesting. And so there's something about, well, it relates to the new moon, endings and new beginnings, because that's what the world is about. There could be something related to travel, okay? So whether it's an ending of the end of a period of travel or a new beginning with regards to plans for your future, travel related for some people. And it's also to do with family as well. You know, there could be something, this card in particular is quite unique for the world in this deck. It shows like a grandmother figure with a grandchild. I mean, you could say it's a mother, but she honestly looks a little bit too old for me to be the mother. So the child looks about, I might be being a bit over analytical now, but the child looks about 6 and this lady looks about 60. So what I'm getting at is I feel like there is some connection here with ancestors, and your ancestors being very much around you at this time, water signs. So that's what I'm feeling with that. But also ending of cycles for all the water element people. This one's jumping out. Higher power, look at that. This is eerie, okay, because if you look at the number, I always look at the number and factor it with astrology and numerology. So 4 is about stability, but 4, think about 4 in astrology, it's the 4th house, which is your roots, your ancestry, your family background. And so we have your ancestors, and it says higher power, very spiritual energy, almost like a spirit or an angel kind of looking over. Hopefully you can see that. It's quite a faint image there. It's very pastel and soft, but wow, and that's so interesting because this week with all that watery energy in the sky, the water signs are really going to be feeling that connection to spirit. So look, if you know of someone who has passed on, they're really connecting with you guys this week, water signs. It's really strong. I mean, I've specifically mentioned ancestors, and we have 4, which is the 4th house, which is home, family, ancestors, family background, and higher power. So very synchronous, beautiful messages. I'm just going to roll the astro dice and see what you guys have. Oh, 8, the 8th house, which is a very powerful house. It's the Scorpio house, so again that relates to this being for the water signs. It's about your deeper emotions and life and death and rebirth. So yes, definitely could be connecting with the other side this week. Libra comes up, so Libra relates to relationships, people in your life, people that you care for, relationship energy, one-on-one connections, partners, partnerships, people that you've been close to. And Uranus, wow, Uranus, I just heard unexpected communication. Okay, so for the water signs, there could be some unexpected communications this week. Could be unexpected spirit communication or messages from spirit. So interesting, because Uranus with the 8th house, you know, Uranus in Scorpio is exalted. This is a Scorpio house, that's why I'm saying that. This is powerful. So Uranus in the 8th house energy, Uranus and Scorpio energy is very powerful. It's very psychic, and you had Libra as well. So yeah, I think that the big message for the water signs this week is there's spiritual communication coming in. So really pay attention to your dreams, and if those dreams are just symbolic dreams, even pay attention to the symbolism of those dreams that you're having as well. Okay, so that was the water signs. Let's move on to next is the fire signs. So this will be for Aries, Leo and Sag. What's coming up for the fire signs this week? That is way too many. There's like so many cards there. Okay. Aries, Leo, Sag. What's this? The Hanged Man. Wow. Okay. The Hanged Man, which is interesting, that is Neptune. And we have a lot of Neptune Pisces energy this week. So might be a little bit of a frustrating week for some fire signs. Maybe more so Sagittarius. Interesting. A leg up. How funny it says a leg up, and he's literally got his legs up in the air. It's just weird. Sometimes it's so synchronous. So 34, that's a 7. Wow. 7, I feel 7 energy is very synchronous with this energy, because 7 is about your spiritual path. So fire signs, there is something here about really tapping into your spirituality, prayer, meditation, listening to your inner guidance as well this week, not trying to force anything this week, because with the Hangman you kind of are waiting for something. So you're waiting either for news, you're waiting to hear about something, you're waiting for help with something, or you're waiting for a message from spirit to see what's next, or you're waiting for your path to open up in some way. A leg up, this card is actually about receiving help and getting support with something, fire signs. So I know the fire signs are quite independent, and you know, Leo's very prideful, generally doesn't really like to ask for help. Sagittarius is very independent, so is Aries. So, you know, for you guys, I'd say accept the help if there's help that comes your way this week, or support, you know. And let's look at the astro dice for fire signs. So you have the first house, which is the Aries house. You have Pisces and Neptune. Wow. So the Neptune Pisces energy is really affecting the fire signs this week, and I would say it would have to affect the Sagittarians more because it squares your energy. So there might be some strange energies for your path this week, because we have 1. So 1 is path, identity, where you're moving forward to. So I'd say for the fire signs, mostly for Sagittarius, more so, and you know, all the fire signs, but more Sagittarius and Leo is what I'm getting right now. There might be more frustration for you guys this week. I do feel for Aries, the energy feels like, yes, there might be a bit of a pause, or there might be a bit of a energy of somewhat of a block. But I think for Aries, Aries knows what's going on more, is what I'm just sensing. Whereas I think Sagittarius and Leo may be kind of more in a waiting to see what's going to happen. So that's what I'm picking up on right now. But there's definitely this sense of waiting, or on being on hold, being on pause for the fire signs this week. And the fire signs don't like that, because the fire just wants to keep pushing forward. Fire energy wants to keep pushing forward. So it's good to know. And again, it's not for every single fire sign. So, you know, maybe some of you may not have this feeling as much this week. Maybe some fire signs are having more the support energy around them. But either way, if you're a fire sign, you're going through some kind of feeling of frustration this week with delays, just know that there is help coming, that there is support around you, and whether it's spiritual support or support from friends or people that you know, that's going to be there to help you through. All right, so let's go to air signs. Okay, so obviously this is going to be for Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What's coming up for the air signs this week? Whoops, diving out. The Chariot. Wow. So it's interesting, you know, for this card, the Chariot does not usually feature a couple, but in this Silver Witch Tarot deck, it features a couple and a relationship. And also the baby is there. So they have like a child, or there's something here about family. Obviously the Chariot relates to the moon, which does relate to, or Cancer rather, the sign of Cancer. So it does, not the moon, it's Cancer. It's really the sign of Cancer, the Chariot. So, but Cancer relates to the moon, which is family, home, children, security, stability in relationship. Let's see what else comes up with this deck for the air signs. Okay, it says to be fair, which is interesting because that totally makes me think of Libra energy. Libra is all about fairness, balance, equality. And Libra are very relationship orientated. So there might be a special message here for Librans about relationships and about balance in your relationships, and fairness and equality and issues related to that. It could be in the home life. It could be even, you know, if you're younger, it could be to do with your parents. It could be your home life. It could be something that you're trying to equalize in your life, something where you're trying to have balance and trying to maintain balance, or you're trying to create harmony between yourself and others, okay? Because it's very much Libra energy here. And she's actually, I just realized this, she is actually holding some scales. Wow, I just only noticed that. See, she's got 4 hands, which is bizarre, but it's a very sort of surrealistic image. And she's got these 2 kind of unusual scales with different things on them. One has like, gosh, it looks like, I don't know what, oh, it's a fortune cookie on one. It's just like a giant fortune cookie, and the other one has like a pearl of some kind. It looks like a pearl. And then there's an owl above her head in the crown chakra. So that is about using your wisdom and your intuition to balance your relationships this week, and not to sort of push ahead too quickly with things without processing. Giving yourself time to process is what I'm getting. So 8 and 3 is 11, which is so interesting because that 11 energy is about balance, if you think about it, and it's 2, it's 1 and 1. So again, relationship energy features 1 and 1. The Chariot is also about balancing energy, the yin and the yang as well. So let's look at the astro dice for the air signs. Virgo energy, 5th house, Mars. Wow. So you guys, you air signs, are maybe feeling quite driven with the Mars in the 5th house. Could be romantically, you know, it could be that you want certain things to happen romantically and you're feeling impatient. But the Virgo energy is saying to slow down a little bit, be a bit discerning, and to realize that things sometimes do have to happen incrementally. That's what Virgo energy is about, you know, things happening incrementally, bit by bit, and to understand there's always a process involved with things, and to take your time with something, and not to be sort of this week too forceful. There may be creative projects going on with Mars in the 5th house. There could be new romance. Depends, you know, everyone's situation is going to be different. So, but what I am getting is having fairness, balance, and equality is very important for the air signs this week. It feels very Libran to me with that. Okay. And lastly, the earth signs. So my fellow Tauruses, Virgo and Capricorn. What are the messages for the earth signs? Oh, 5 of Cups. Not really a nice card for us earth signs. It may be a bit of an emotional disappointment or a feeling of some sadness around a relationship situation. Poised. Interesting. What I'm sort of getting though is, what I heard was you don't have the full picture with the 5 of Cups. So, and then it's like you're preparing to move forward in some way. So you may be letting go of something that was dissatisfying emotionally, or letting go of negative thinking when it comes to relationships, or pessimistic emotions. You know, maybe you've been through a lot and you kind of get used to expecting the worst, and that's kind of like has a very somber kind of depressive energy with it, I feel. So I am getting that. So I feel like this is a very Neptunian sort of energy around this card as well. And, you know, you may not be seeing the whole picture at the moment. It may feel like things feel a bit sad or a bit lonely in some way for the earth signs. And yet there's this hopeful energy here with poised. It's like you are ready to embrace something new, which is exciting. And it's to do with your own unique path. I'm really drawn to the stars all around her, and it's like embracing your own unique path. And if something's not working out here, just let it go, with the new moon in Pisces especially. And 8 and 4 is 12, which is 2 and 1 is 3. So 3 is about communication and change and being excited about learning new things and opening up your communications in ways that feel very exciting for you, earth signs. Okay, let's look at the astro dice for the earth signs. Taurus comes up. Love that. Oh my gosh, I just said the 3 and the 3 came up. I love it. Gosh, that's so great. So Taurus comes up, communication comes up. So, and I've got to roll one more die. There we go. Neptune. So the Neptune influence this week with the new moon is very much going to influence Taurus especially, but could influence the other earth signs. I know with Virgo it's going to square your energy. Sorry, it's going to oppose your energy. So that could be a bit confusing for the Virgos in regards to love matters. You know, with the Neptune energy opposing you, you might be confused about how other people are behaving. Virgo, with Capricorn, it does sextile the Capricorn energy, which is supportive, but you guys have other stuff going on as well in the astrology. So either way, for the earth signs, is saying leave behind the sad emotions, refocus on yourself, your path, what you're doing, you know, where you're headed, and that's where the energy is at. So that's really great. And that's it. So those are all the elements for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and wish everyone a wonderful week, and pay attention to your intuition this week. Thanks everyone. Take care. Bye.